Welcome to Beyond the Clinic, the podcast for health professionals ready to transform their expertise into innovative income streams that extend beyond the traditional clinic model. I'm Almond Bushell. I'm a registered dietitian and certified business coach and proud owner of 2 successful online businesses. I understand the leap from the security of a regular salary can feel intimidating because I've been there too, but it doesn't have to be scary and you do not have to do this alone. Here you'll learn tangible strategies to accelerate your business growth. So if you're dreaming of using your expertise to create impact and a life of freedom, then you're in the right place. Welcome to today's episode of Beyond the Clinic. I am so glad you're here because we're diving into a question today that I know many of you had wondered about: how to set yourself up for success each day. So whether your mornings feel chaotic and you're rushed, or you're looking for ways to stay consistent with a routine, this episode is for you. You'll learn how implementing a simple but intentional morning and evening routine can transform your mindset, improve your productivity, and even help you grow your business faster. I'm going to share the exact routines that I use, backed by science, to start my day with focus and intention, as well as how I wind down at night to prepare for the day ahead. So by the end of this episode, you'll have all the tools that you need to create your own routines, no matter what your schedule looks like, or whether you're a morning person or a night owl. Let's go. Today's episode answers a question that I was recently asked by one of you lovely listeners. Shout out to Anne, who asked me, do you have a morning routine and how do you set yourself up for success? Maybe you're wondering the same thing because your mornings feel quite rushed or chaotic or a bit unproductive, or perhaps you've tried to have a routine before, but it never really stuck and you've fallen back into old habits. It's such a great question, as yes, I do have a morning routine and a bedtime one too, which I'll share with you in a moment. But first of all, I want to explain why these daily rituals are super important and what impact they actually have on your mindset and helping you to become the best version of yourself. So I first learned about the importance of morning routines back in September 2018. For those of you who know the story, my mum passed away in the June of that year, and I took a 3-month sabbatical from my job in the NHS to be with my dad in Spain to help him out. And I felt a bit untethered, to be honest. I wasn't really sure what direction I wanted my life to take at this point in time, or how I'd pull myself out of the haze and the grief, really, of uncertainty about what the future might look like. And it was this experience of losing my mum that made me take my private practice a bit more seriously, and it inspired me to turn it into what I feel is an epic, successful business. Life to me really did feel too short to be stuck at a job that I really didn't enjoy, especially because at that point in time, I was only in my early 40s, meaning that I had at least another 25 plus years of work ahead of me. So during this time, I would go for long walks. They lived in Menorca in the countryside with my parents' dogs, and I would pop my earbuds in and I would listen to podcasts. And one of them was Amy Porterfield. And she was explaining her morning routine and the daily habits of successful business owners. And she attributed this small but consistent set of rituals, really, that she did on a day-to-day basis consistently. She attributed that without fail to her success. So that led me down a bit of a rabbit hole of research, reading, and trying to find evidence that what you did first thing in the morning could make or break your day ahead and the business that I was hoping to build in that time. So I knew that I wanted to grow the biggest and best business that I could. And at first it was so that I could quit my job in the NHS, but there was also a bit of personal ambition there as well. So what I found was a survey published in 2010 in the Harvard Business Review. It was by a German university researcher. And he reported that the most productive people in business tended to be early risers. It was just a survey, but what he found was that early risers were better able to anticipate and minimize problems. They tended to be better at planning. They were proactive rather than reactive. They were calmer, had more energy, more focus, essentially more productivity. They also had better mood, better sleep, and they were just generally better in business, better than those people who were actually night owls. But I know that I'm a night owl. I've had my DNA tested, and it's clear that my chronotype shows that I'm not a morning person. I actually really struggle to get up in the mornings, and I need at minimum 2 cups of strong coffee to get going with my day. If you're a night owl like me, you'll know that the hardest part is the waking up part, the predetermined decision to hit snooze on your alarm and grab another 5 minutes sleep. And that's because the limbic systems in our brain, the part which is set up to keep us safe, recognizes the alarm going off in the morning as a threat. This limbic system, it works on automation without any logical thought, and therefore staying asleep is automatically its preference. And to wake up when we're not ready to, we've got to override this automation by taking conscious steps. And that is managed and triggered by the prefrontal cortex in the brain. So essentially, if you're not a morning person, you've got to take charge of your waking up by activating that prefrontal cortex bit and overriding the automatic limbic system, which is really hard. But most people, whether they are up with the larks or they're night owls, what they'll do is they'll silence their alarm, they'll roll over, snooze for a little bit longer. And actually, this is procrastination in its simplest form. It affects your mindset, and it can actually set you up for a day of overwhelm. So, after learning all of this, I wanted to know how I could take advantage of these early riser benefits seen repeatedly in high-performing business owners, whilst having this genetically predetermined night owl chronotype and essentially avoiding setting my mindset up for procrastination and overwhelm. So what I learned was it's not actually about getting up earlier. It's about the mindset that you begin your work day with. It's the first things you do before you sit at your desk that set you up for success. So it doesn't really matter what your chronotype is. It's about making time to practice these rituals, whether it's a 5 a.m. start or 9:30 a.m. after you've done the school run. So why do mornings matter? What you do first before you sit down to do any work is going to impact on your mindset for the rest of your day. So morning routines work by positively influencing our mindset, our productivity, our sense of achievement. And actually, there's been some research that shows it impacts on our mental health as well. So essentially, a good morning routine means you'll get more stuff done and your business will grow more quickly as a result. When you don't have that structure, it's really easy to lose focus. You might start the day scrolling through emails or social media, only to look up and realize that hours have passed and nothing meaningful has been accomplished. We've all been there. But it's not just about that lost productivity. Without having an intention, you're left reacting to the day rather than leading it, which actually can feel really overwhelming and ultimately demotivating. So here's how it all works. Most people have got good intentions when it comes to work and what they plan to achieve. But most people within the first half an hour or so have lost this intention, having become distracted or sometimes just not being able to get focused in the first place. And then everything spirals and nothing gets done. Does this sound familiar? This is what happens to me when I don't start the day with my morning rituals. So when you have a disciplined morning routine, it works well because it actually involves just a set of really small, easy tasks that you do one after the other, which means that you achieve several small things which make you feel in control. So this is the internal locus of control. And when you're in control of achieving just these small things, it sets you up for success which has a knock-on impact on the rest of your day. An internal locus of control is highly motivating because you are in control and have achieved things that you set out to do rather than external things happening to you. When your day feels dictated by these external events like clients contacting you, emails, family needs, it's easy to feel like you're just putting out fires. That constant reaction mode leaves little room for growth or creativity, or actually sometimes just the confidence to go out there and push your business forwards. This internal locus of control is highly motivating because it helps us cope better with stress. By achieving these small tick-offable tasks, you actually invoke a feeling of making progress, which encourages us to take on bigger tasks, essentially just getting more stuff done. And also, the neurotransmitter dopamine is involved in this process as well, because this neurotransmitter makes you feel good in anticipation of achieving something. Now, the feeling you get is short-lived, but it's highly addictive, which means it encourages us to seek out more of that behavior that caused that initial dopamine hit. Because of what you achieve from your morning and actually your evening rituals, the routine itself becomes addictive as well. And actually, you just then look forward to it. And so this behavior perpetuates day in, day out. And after a few weeks of doing this daily, you'll develop something called a bias towards action. And this is where the sense of achievement, the well-being, the fulfillment, it escalates, it gets greater and greater. So that's how it becomes habit forming. You want to do it more. And with that grows confidence. And that means better results. And of course, more business growth, simply because you're just getting more stuff done. So without that sense of achievement, it's really easy to spiral into procrastination. You might put off big tasks because they can feel overwhelming. And without these little small wins to build momentum, the day can feel stagnant before you've even really got started. Okay, that's a lot of background to all of this. So now I'm going to share with you my morning and evening rituals. And actually, I'm going to start with my evening one. And the reason for this is that the last thing that you think of at night is often the first thing that you think of in the morning. And so this is something you can do to really set yourself up for success. Okay, it's just three things. So the first thing I do when I get into bed at night is I just take a moment to celebrate what I've achieved that day. So I know that as business owners, as parents, as healthcare professionals, we're constantly thinking about what's next, what we didn't get done, what's still on our plates. But I want to flip that script. So before you go to sleep, and I do this whilst I'm lying in bed, I write down everything I've accomplished during the day. Everything, big and small. So it could be something as awesome as landing a new client or being asked to speak at an event, or it could be something as simple as having a great conversation with a colleague or getting the washing on the line, or even just taking a lunch break away from your desk. Now, why is this important? It's important because when you acknowledge your wins, no matter how small they are, you're reinforcing a positive mindset. You're telling your brain, hey, I'm making progress here. And that creates that dopamine boost, that natural way your brain has of rewarding you. So for me, this little practice has become a total game changer. It's helped me end my day feeling accomplished, and I sleep soundly, and it's built my confidence actually over time as well. So when you're lying in bed tonight, I just want you to ask yourself, what went really well today? What am I proud of today? What did I get down? And just note it down in your journal. Okay, the second thing I do is just a brain dump. It's clearing the mental clutter. In that same notebook, I want you to write down everything that's swimming in your head. This could be work tasks, it could be personal errands, it could be random reminders. Whatever's there, get it out. Now, this step is crucial because it stops your brain from trying to hold on to these thoughts. I like to think of it as just decluttering. You're saying to your mind, it's okay, I've captured this, I don't need to keep on thinking about it. And not only does this help you sleep better, But it also ensures that when you wake up in the morning, you're not immediately overwhelmed by a million swirling thoughts. And then the third thing that I do is just gratitude practice. Finally, before I drift off to sleep, so this might come a bit later if I've sat up and read my book for a little while, as I'm lying down in my bed with my eyes closed and the lights off, I just think about everything that I'm grateful for. This doesn't need to be written down. Just close your eyes and reflect. It could be things that are really small, like the way the sun felt on your skin, on your face that afternoon. Or for me, I'm always grateful for coffee. Or it could be something bigger, like a milestone that you hit in your business. But gratitude practice has a profound effect on mental health. And when you're ending your day with these positive thoughts, it really helps you sleep with a sense of peace and a sense of contentment. And by going to sleep with positivity, you're much more likely to wake up with a positive mindset too. So now that your evening routine has set you up for a good night's sleep, let's talk about how you start your day with purpose and focus. So the framework I used is called SAVERS, and it's described best by Hal Elrod in his book, The Miracle Morning. This is what I'd read back in 2018 during my time in Menorca, and it's stuck with me ever since. So I highly recommend reading it if you haven't already, and I will pop a link in the show notes for you. So SAVERS, it's an acronym for 6 simple practices that help you ground yourself and help you build confidence and create momentum for the rest of your day. So let me walk you through them one by one. Number 1, S in SAVERS, is silence. And really, this just means meditation or mindfulness. It could be meditation, it could be deep breathing, it could just be sitting quietly for a few moments. But the idea is to start your day in a calm and intentional state rather than just jumping straight into your to-do list or reacting to things that have come in. It's about holding space for yourself to slow down, to find peace by just sitting with yourself and observing your thoughts whilst focusing on just one thing, like your breath. So we know that meditation changes how you respond to negative or even triggering events in a more positive way. It can help you feel grounded. It creates mental clarity so you can face the day ahead with calm and confidence. And also, people who meditate have been found to have improved physical health and mental health too. So for me, I tend to listen to guided meditations. Sometimes they're really short, like 3 minutes if I don't have a lot of time, and other times I will let them go on for a bit longer. The second thing in SAVERS is A, and that's affirmations, which really is just positive self-talk. It's self-talk that helps you challenge unhelpful thoughts, and it reminds you of your capabilities. It reminds you of your goals and the person that you want to become in order to achieve those goals. And the key with affirmations is to say these in the present tense, like they've already happened to you. So I'll give you an example for my business. I say, I help a lot of people and I make a lot of money. You could also have, I attract opportunities and I take bold actions in my business. Or you could have something like, I have the energy and focus to do great things. So affirmations work because they reprogram your subconscious and they replace any self-doubt with confidence. And yes, there is some science behind this. It's all based on psychology, obviously, something called self-affirmation theory, where MRI evidence shows that the neural pathways that are created in the brain are strengthened when people practice self-affirmation. So you can absolutely write your own, or you can find an inspirational quote that you like, because these words, they just simply feed your subconscious mind with positivity on a day-to-day repetitive basis. It's been found that people who speak affirmations have less stress, improves resilience, it creates optimism, and it's even been shown to positively influence academic achievement. So when I first started this practice, it felt a bit awkward, if I'm honest with you. It felt a bit weird. But over time, I actually started to notice how much it influenced my mindset for the better. Find a time when you don't feel too embarrassed. Do it in the shower where the noise of the water drowns it out if you're feeling a little bit self-conscious. Okay, step 3 is V in Savers, and this is visualization. And actually, another way to think about this is it's just a mental rehearsal of your future success. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools in this routine. This is painting a picture in your mind of what you want your future to look like. So it's really well known that we stimulate the same brain regions when we visualize something and when we actually do it. In fact, the human brain can't tell the difference. And there's loads of evidence for this. Visualization is a standard part of preparation for elite athletes who are preparing for events. They're more likely to win their race if they visualize running it first. And even in stroke patients, it's been shown that they can increase blood flow to the damaged areas if they visualize using that affected part of their body. You might have heard Muhammad Ali's really famous quote, "If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it." Here, you just close your eyes and you imagine yourself achieving your goals. For example, if you want to write a book, visualize yourself walking into Waterstones, for example, and seeing your book on the shelves. Picture yourself flicking through the pages and seeing your professional headshot on the dust jacket. If you want to grow a thriving private practice, picture the clinic room, the waiting area with loads of people filling up the chairs, your associate clinician in the room next door, your receptionist greeting clients as they come in, offering them some freshly brewed coffee. And tap into your senses with this. Can you smell the coffee? Can you smell the bunch of roses in the glass vase on the reception desk? Can you feel the sunlight shining through the window and warming your skin? The reason why I say this is the clearer that you can be with your vision, the more effective this will be for you. And research shows that when you visualize success, your brain responds as if you've already achieved it. And this builds motivation and it prepares you to take action. Okay, step 4 in Savers is E for exercise. And it's really just about moving your body. Now, I'm not going to preach to the converted here. We all know how good exercise is for us. But what I will say is that as well as physical and mental health benefits, you'll also achieve clarity of thought and productivity from the increased blood flow and oxygen to your brain. And also a really positive mental state from that lovely endorphin release. So it doesn't have to mean a full gym workout. It's more about movement. So it could be as simple as stretching or yoga or going for a walk. I live by the beach, and so I often take the dog for a walk after the school run in the morning. It's just about fitting it in when I can. Okay, step 5 is R in Savers, and this is reading. And the way I like to think of this is learning something new. The purpose here is to inspire, it's to empower, it's to educate ourselves, giving our brains a really positive focus for the day. As professionals, we all know how important it is to be at the top of our game by embracing lifelong learning. Although R is for reading, you can still get the same benefits from listening to podcasts, for example, or audiobooks, or even watching a motivational YouTube video that works just as well. So choose something that aligns with your personal growth or your professional development, or even something that's linked into your business goals. So for me, this is where I get all my ideas from. I find learning massively motivating. So I often listen to audiobooks or podcasts, either while driving back from the school run or whilst taking the dog for that walk on the beach. Again, it's just about fitting it into my lifestyle. And step 6, the final step, is the S in Savers, and that stands for scribe or journaling. It simply means writing stuff down. It could be journaling your to-do list for the day ahead. It could be jotting down thoughts and ideas that are on your mind. Struggling with something or feeling stuck in an area of your life, write down what you're feeling and self-coach yourself by asking yourself why, and then write some more. It's a really useful way of exploring what blocks or holdups you might be facing and find out what gain these provide you, because Even though something is stopping you and getting in your way, there's often a secondary gain for that. And I find that when you journal things out, often your mind knows what to do. It's an amazing way to connect with your intuition. Solutions often sit within the subconscious mind and come out through the end of your pen in your writing. It will really help you move forward with an area you're stuck on. And if you don't have something on your mind, I like to start by just writing down things that I'm grateful for. So again, gratitude, it just shifts my mindset. It focuses on the positive, which sets a really powerful tone for the day. And then I'll note down my top 3 priorities, the things that I want to get done today. And that gives me clarity and focus for when I start work. So this journaling part, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to take long. Even just a few sentences can really just help you reflect. It can help clear your mind, and it can help you set intentions for the day ahead. Okay, so there you have it, my morning and my evening routines, and a little bit about the science behind doing these consistently. But what I haven't mentioned to you is how long these actually take. And to be honest with you, you can spend as much time or as little as you like on these. Now, Hal Elrod describes a 6-minute miracle morning in his version of his book aimed at entrepreneurs. And this is where you spend just 1 minute on each of the savers. And if I think about it, my evening routine is probably no more than 1 or 2 minutes as well. I think the key thing here is the consistency. By practicing this every morning and every evening, you'll start to create new habits that set you up for success, that help you start each day calmly and with focus. You will be better equipped to deal with your business challenges. You'll be more proactive rather than reactive, and you will become more productive. And ultimately, you should be able to build a more successful business as a result. So my action step, here's what I want you to do today. So just choose either the morning or the evening routine and commit to doing it for the next 7 days. You literally need 6 minutes in the morning and 1 or 2 minutes before you go to bed at night. Whether it's jotting down your wins and your to-do list before you go to bed or diving into the full savers routine, commit to one or both and just make it part of your daily rhythm and see how that feels after a week. Okay, we have covered a lot today, haven't we? From why routines matter to those specific steps that you can take to create a powerful morning and evening ritual that truly sets you up for success. These small but powerful practices aren't just about ticking things off a list. They're about living with intention, about you taking control of your mindset so that you can build momentum and create a solid foundation for your personal and your professional business growth. What's most exciting is how these habits compound over time. It's not about doing it perfectly, but it is about doing it consistently. And I can't wait to hear how this works out for you. Tag me on Instagram or drop a note in our Beyond the Clinic Business Facebook group to let me know how your new routine is going. And as this episode was inspired by a question from one of our listeners, I'd love to invite you to ask a question too. All right, bye for now. That's it for another week. Thank you so much for joining me as we explore the abundance of strategies to help you recapture that feeling of possibility and excitement as you drive your business forwards and beyond the clinic room. If you found today's episode inspirational, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the show to stay in the loop for more valuable advice that I'm going to be sharing each week. If you want to be the first to hear about new episode releases, news and ways that I can support your business growth, then please don't forget to check out the links in the show notes, and you can also connect with me from there. Don't keep me a secret. I would be delighted if you left a review and shared this podcast with your colleagues. Until next time, bye for now.